1.5 degrees
global warming
in the next 5 years.
Global warming has exceeded 1.5 degrees Celsius
for an entire year.
Imagine leaving out spices and canned foods out of your stockpile. How are you going to get that delicious food done? Or how are you going to stay full with your family during a crisis? Don't make that mistake of leaving essential foods out of your stockpile. In this video, we will reveal the 11 essential crisis food to stockpile. Hurricanes, tornadoes, storms, floods, earthquakes, disease epidemics, and emergencies can happen anytime. Knowing what food to stockpile during a crisis is very essential because it will determine how your health and that of your family members will look like. Imagine stockpiling foods without a good content of vital nutrients like vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, and protein. It will affect your health because our body needs these nutrients to remain strong and healthy. Let's kick off with something everybody loves: plain white rice. White rice is a staple food that's really handy to have in your pantry, especially during tough times like a crisis. It's essential because it has a long shelf life. It can last for years without going bad if stored properly. Apart from its long shelf life, white rice might not contain important carbohydrates, which are your body's main source of energy, but it is low in fat and sodium, which can be beneficial for your health. White rice is also versatile. You can pair it with almost any dish, from vegetables to beans and even sauces, making it a great base for many meals. Cooking white rice is simple and doesn't require a lot of time or fancy ingredients. All you need is water and a pot, or even a rice cooker if you have one. To make sure your white rice stays good for as long as possible, store it in a cool, dry place in an airtight container. This helps prevent moisture and pests from getting in. Let's move on to the next: canned meats. Imagine going for months or years without meat when you are not a vegan. Canned meats add extra flavor to foods. Examples of canned meat you can stockpile are Spam, ham, sausages, chicken, turkey, and tuna. Tuna will likely be the least expensive canned meat, but it's good to have different kinds in case of crisis. Canned meats are loaded with proteins that can keep you feeling full and satisfied. They also contain important vitamins and minerals like iron and B vitamins, which can help keep your body running smoothly. So you can combine it with things like pastas and rice and beans for a good food rich in protein, carbohydrate, and amino acids, and all the really important nutrients the body needs. Another reason canned meats are essential is because they can really last for a long time. They are sealed, and this prevents bacteria from spoiling the food. You just have to store them in a cool, dry place. Next on the list is dried whole egg powder. Dried whole egg powder is eggs that have been dried and turned into a powder form. It's like having eggs in a super convenient, long-lasting package. Now, why is this food essential for stockpiling? Eggs are packed with nutrients that your body needs to stay healthy. They contain protein, vitamins like A and D, and minerals like calcium. Apart from that, dried egg powder has a pretty long shelf life. If you store it properly by keeping it in a cool, dry place away from sunlight, it can last for months or even years. Just make sure to seal it up to keep out moisture and air, which can make it go bad faster. Next on the list is cooking oil. Cooking oil can be used for cooking, frying, and even baking. Now, why is it so important to have in your pantry during a crisis? Well, think about it this way. Many of the foods we cook need oil to make them taste good and cook properly. Without it, cooking certain dishes becomes really difficult. Apart from just cooking, cooking oil is a source of healthy fats. Examples of good cooking oils to stockpile are oils like olive oil and canola oil. They contain moderate amounts of fats which are important for our bodies because they give us energy and help absorb certain vitamins. Cooking oils can spoil over time, especially if they're exposed to air, light, or heat. But don't worry because storing them is easy. All you have to do is to store them in a cool, dark place, like a pantry or a cupboard. Make sure to seal them tightly after each use to prevent air from getting in. Next on the list is fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables contain important vitamins, minerals, and plant chemicals that humans shouldn't miss out on. That is why it is one of the essential foods you should stockpile. Fruits and vegetables are perishable foods and they spoil easily. Instead of buying fresh fruits, you can stockpile canned fruits and vegetables. A diet rich in vegetables and fruits can lower blood pressure, reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke, and prevent some types of cancer. Canned vegetables and fruits are not really different from the fresh ones. They can be just as nutritious as the fresh ones because canning preserves many nutrients. You can stockpile canned fruits and vegetables like spinach, tomatoes, carrots, and peas. If you don't like them individually, you can buy mixed canned fruits and vegetables. Like other canned foods, canned fruits and vegetables are easy to store. To make sure your canned goods stay fresh, store them in a cool, dry place, like a pantry or cupboard. Let's move on to the next one, canned soup. During a crisis, you might not be able to go to the store to get items for soups. The only solution to that is stockpiling canned soups. Canned soups are already cooked soups that are sealed in a can. You can stockpile canned soups like chicken noodle, broth soups, consommes, cream soups, and veloute-based soups. Apart from not being able to go to the store, you can store canned soups for a long time without worrying about them going bad. And you don't need to cook them again, just pop open a can, heat it up, and you've got a quick and easy meal. Many canned soups contain a good balance of carbohydrates, protein, and fats, along with essential vitamins and minerals. To make sure your canned soups last as long as possible, store them in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight. Next on the list is pasta. Having rice every week during a crisis is going to become boring. That's why having pasta in your pantry is really essential. You can choose between pasta like spaghetti, penne, or fusilli for your stockpile. Pasta is easier to prepare than rice. All you need is a few ingredients like spices and water. Pasta is a great source of carbohydrates, and it's low in fat and can be part of a balanced diet. It is also low in sodium, and it's cholesterol-free, so you can feel good about what you're eating. For an extra nutritional boost, try adding canned meats or canned vegetables to your pasta. Now you see why canned meats and vegetables are essential? Pasta can last for a really long time if stored properly. Keep it in a cool, dry place like your pantry away from moisture and heat. That means no storing it near the stove or in a damp basement. If you want to go the extra mile, you can transfer it from its pack to an airtight container. Pasta is a must-have in any emergency stockpile. It's easy to make, fills you up, and can last a long time if you store it right. Plus, who doesn't love a good pasta dinner, crisis or not? Next on the list is spices and seasoning. Apart from canned foods, I don't think you can enjoy any food without spices and seasoning. You can stockpile spices like salt, pepper, cinnamon, ginger, turmeric, thyme, and garlic powder. Turmeric and ginger have anti-inflammatory properties. Others, like cinnamon, can help control blood sugar levels. So it's not just about taste, they can also help keep you healthy. Most spices are always dry, so it's best to store them in a cool, dry place, away from sunlight. That means no storing them right next to the stove where they can get hot and sweaty. And try to keep them in airtight containers to prevent them from losing their flavor. Ninth on the list is sugar. During a crisis, having sugar stocked up can be really important. Sugar isn't just for making things taste sweet, it's also used in cooking and baking to help food last longer. Plus, it gives you a quick energy boost when you need it most. Imagine not having sugar when you want to bake bread, cakes even to preserve fruits. But remember, too much sugar isn't good for you. It's best to enjoy it in moderation. Storing sugar is pretty easy. You just need to store it in a cool, dry place. A pantry or cupboard works great. Make sure it's in an airtight container to keep out moisture. Next on the list is super important to have during a crisis because it's the main ingredient for making lots of yummy foods and snacks like bread, crackers, and cakes. Flour is made from grinding up grains like wheat, corn, or rice, so you can make yours and save yourself some bucks. Now, Why should you stockpile it? Having flour means you can still make your own food at home, even if the grocery shelves are empty. Flour can give you energy because it's packed with carbohydrates. It also has some protein and fiber, which help keep the body strong and healthy. You can store it in a cool, dry place. Make sure it's sealed up tight to keep out any moisture. If you can, use airtight containers or bags. That way, your flour will stay fresh and ready whenever you need it. 11th on the list is drinks. Drinks are very essential foods we should have in our stockpile. Staying hydrated is key for our bodies to work properly. When we're in a crisis situation, it might be hard to find clean water, so having some stored away is a smart move. Apart from water, stockpiling drinks like juices, sport drinks, teas, and alcohol are also essential. Juices are great because they're tasty and give us a boost of vitamins. Just make sure they're 100% juice without added sugars or preservatives. Sports drinks can be helpful during emergencies too, especially if you're doing a lot of physical activity or sweating a lot. They replace important minerals like potassium and sodium that we lose when we sweat. Teas are also great because they have antioxidants that are good for our bodies. Storing drinks is easy because they are sealed already. Just store them in a cool, dark place away from sunlight and heat sources. So that's it. Stockpile these 11 essential crisis foods. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. See you in the next video.